Let's talk about SmackDown from September the 27th, 2024. It is 3 count commentaries. I am your host, MagMongoSlade. SmackDown and WWE, they're in a difficult space. The ratings are starting to dip. And because the ratings are starting to slip, they're getting desperate. And because they're getting desperate, they're doing triple threat ladder matches on TV next week, along with a dumpster match on the same show. By God. And they're going to do a last man standing match on Raw. So they're actually going to start using gimmicks because they need to, because the ratings are starting to slip. And very interesting. So why are these ratings starting to slip all of a sudden? What's happening? Well, the fact that the show doesn't have any heat helps matters. Overexposure of certain talent is helping matters. But that's neither here nor there. You came to hear me talk about SmackDown, so let's get into it. Randy Orton. He's on the show. I forgot he was even on this show. Simple situation here. He wants an explanation about why Cody is teaming up with Roman. Cody says that Roman has kept his word to him before. He expects him to keep his word now. And says he'd rather be a fool than a coward. Then he said this rogue bloodline needs to be stopped and needs to be killed. And he hopes that it's not going to be a problem for Randy. And Randy said it's not going to be a problem unless Cody makes it a problem. But it is a problem for Kevin Owens, who marches out there. But before he can get anything out of his mouth, praise God, here comes Solo. Solo says that Cody Rhodes needs to trust Roman Reigns because he needs Roman Reigns. Unlike Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, who ain't been good enough to stop the bloodline. So then Kevin Owens cuts in, asks for a tag team match. Cody tries to make it a 6-man tag, but Kevin Owens like, no, you got your tag team match. I want to have a tag team match too. And so he's a jealous girlfriend? Later, Randy Orton and Kevin Owens are coming up with a plan, and Cody Rhodes comes in there to see what's the problem. Kevin Owens said, we'll talk about it, but not right now. And Cody insists on talking right now, and then Kevin Owens got in his face. Randy Orton is the peacemaker, not literally John Cena, but he's got to play the John Cena role. Kevin Owens tells Cody Rhodes he don't want to see Cody out there. If they get in, no matter what happens, you stay back here. He storms out. Randy Orton decides he's going to ignore that and say, if the Tongans come out there, you can come out there. And so they had the match. That match was the main event. Randy Orton, Kevin Owens versus Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. And I've had my fill of Kevin Owens matches. I've had enough. I've seen enough. I've seen all that he can do. He can't do no more. All right. It's a sad time. I do not want to watch Kevin Owens wrestle. In any event, Jacob Fatu no-sold being dropped on the announce table, which only pissed Randy Orton off, and he dropped him on the announce table 3 times afterwards. As soon as the Tongans came out, Cody Rhodes came out. They ended up distracting the referee, bumping the ref, and Solo ends up pinning Kevin Owens to win the match. I don't even remember what the finish was. I was mentally checked out by this point. So, Jacob wins, good. Solo wins, good. Clearly, they're going to lose. That's why they won this match, because they're going to lose next week. Triple H booking is so simple, right? It's not complex at all. You give Solo and Jacob a win because they're going to lose next week. After the match, Cody tries to console the Kevin Owens and gets pushed. And Cody is like, okay, he's still trying to talk to Kevin, and Kevin keeps shoving him. And the back and forth begins, and then Randy literally gets in between them, separates them, and basically forces them to hug. You know, like a mom. Here, hold your sister's hand. Hold your sister's hand now. This is this is moving at a snail's pace. I'm thinking if they want to be subversive, Randy would be the one that would turn and shock Kevin Owens. But they're definitely building towards Kevin. But they're building towards both of them turning. So Randy's is a little bit more subtle than Kevin's. Kevin's is a little bit more overt. Which tells me that it might end up being Randy in the end that ends up turning as a shock and surprise. It's a simple story. You can't serve two masters. Either you're our friend or you're friends with Roman Reigns. And Cody's not saying he's Roman Reigns' friend, but he's saying, hey, we have a similar desire and we want to work together on that similar desire. If anything, but these guys can't stand Roman. They don't want to work with Roman. They don't want anything to do with Roman, and I understand that. I mean, if Roman kicked my shit in for 5 years, I wouldn't want anything to do with him either. I'd be mad at him too. He got all this money. He handsome. He got so many hoes, and all of a sudden he want to beat my ass too? Who needs that problem? Next, Nia Jax is upset at Bayley and Naomi still being around. She blames Tiffany Stratton. She ends up choking Tiffany, and Tiffany had to apologize for not stopping the pin because she was hurt. Nia Jax then says that this ends badly for her. It's going to end badly for Tiffany. And I officially see that they're turning Tiffany babyface. And I don't like that. I know the crowd likes Tiffany. That's good. That's great. But I don't like this. Why is she punking out Tiffany like this? She's like a lapdog now. She's not even her own person anymore. That sucks. Like, it's one thing for her to be kind of catty. You know how mean girls can be. They're fake friends. But in this situation, Tiffany's coming across like she really is trying to be Nia Jax's friend, and Nia Jax is a bitch. Which works for Nia Jax, but it don't work for Tiffany. It don't work for Tiffany at all. Bayley versus Naomi, #1 contenders match, or as I call it, a booty bowl. Naomi comes out in an Uno-themed tights, which are very, very dope. Bayley wins the match with the belly-to-belly, plus a flying elbow drop. I can start asking questions about whether this is ever going to happen for Naomi. Probably not. Probably not why Triple H is booking. Not likely. Later, the two of them get into it as Bayley apologizes for how things turned out. And Naomi's like, no, you happy you beat me. But oh, it's okay. We'll run it back once you win the title. So I guess they're going to tease Naomi turning heel too. I don't know if that's smart, though. I think people like Naomi a lot. And I don't think they want to boo her. So unless you're going to change her presentation, I think you have to leave it alone. She might end up being like a Rey Mysterio style forever babyface. I don't remember. I know she was a heel, but I don't remember how good she was as a heel. She's not really a good promo. She's got aura, she's got charisma, but she's not a strong talker. And I think you need to be a strong talker to be a top level heel. I'm not sure Naomi has that. So that means she's fine as a babyface. She don't have to talk as much. She ends up getting into it with Tiffany Stratton. And she's like, I'm going to tell Nick Aldis. I want to have this match next week. And I'm like, oh no, we just had that match. My God, they're just running rematches on SmackDown all of a sudden. Is Bruce running SmackDown again? Next, Andrade El Idolo. He walks up to LA Knight and says, where he comes from, you shake someone's hand to show respect. And that LA Knight lost his respect by not shaking his hand. LA Knight looked like he had something to say. Automatically he gets, blasted from behind. Pause. He gets attacked from behind by Carmelo Hayes, who then says, well, I got something for your ass too, to Andrade. And then they proceed to go out and have themselves a banger of a sixth match that even though I really didn't watch match 5 because I was like, there's 5 of these things. But I actually did watch this, and this was probably the best match that they've had. They did some really inventive stuff. Andrade with a power slam on a ring apron. I don't think I've ever seen that before in my life. Carmelo Hayes with a springboard DDT. A top rope superplex that is countered into a cutter, which should have been the finish, for my God. LA Knight makes the run to the ring. He chases Carmelo Hayes. It distracts Andrade. Carmelo Hayes rolls up Andrade rather, and pins him. Andrade is pissed. He's not getting a good place. Carmelo Hayes flees after he stole his match. And LA Knight tries to talk some sense into Andrade. He puts his hand out as kind of an apology and an olive branch, but Andrade shoves past him. Just pushes right past him. Don't even care. Not being friendly, being cold-blooded. I don't need to see Carmelo Hayes versus Andrade again, but those boys were cooking. That was probably the best match they've had since maybe the first one. And I'm not really a big move mark, but they really did some interesting things in that ring. So AJ Styles is returning. That's great. So they're trying to load up next week's SmackDown. AJ Styles will be back. There was a bunch of reports running around like, oh, he's healthy. He's just not being used. They're wasting AJ Styles. And then the internet took over and started crying about it. No doubt Nakamura might show up again at some point too, because he was part of that list too, that where is he kind of gimmick. But AJ Styles is definitely needed on this show. They need some depth. They certainly need some help. I don't know what you do with him. Maybe we're talking U.S. title. But I'm 100% down for Andrade and AJ Styles and Carmelo Hayes, and maybe even running back LA Knight and AJ Styles. That could be fun too. And there's probably a bunch of other people that you can work with as well. So there's a lot we can do with AJ Styles before he conks out. And it's unfortunate that he didn't beat Cody for that title. I don't know. That just came to my mind and I said it out of my mouth. So pay that no mind. I'm a businessman. Sometimes I say things that are different from what I think. Mia Yim defeats Piper Niven. Let's quickly move on. Who cares? So that's SmackDown. That's it. That's the entirety of the show, because Andrade and Carmelo Hayes had like a 20-some-odd minute match. So there it is, man. At least the one match was great. Naomi and Bayley was okay too. It wasn't bad. I actually enjoyed it, even though I personally would have liked to see Naomi win. It was fine. So it was an okay SmackDown. As far as Bad Blood is concerned, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair are going to host the show. They're going to host the show. Why does Bad Blood need a host, let alone two hosts? I don't know. I'm guessing they're going to shoot some kind of angle. That's why they're going to be there. And hopefully it's a good angle, because it needs to be. Because there's people online who are like, look, this is the third straight pay-per-view with no black talent, or no black male talent. And wow. This is what people are thinking about now. This is what people are being pushed towards. They're being pushed towards, are you really showcasing people, especially in a city like Atlanta? Are you really showcasing the population? They went and got Future to use him for the theme song. I don't have a problem with Future. I'm not so sure if GTA is the best song though. I don't know. I just think that if it was, somebody did an edit on Twitter and it was Bone Crusher, Never Scared, if they'd have used that'd have been perfect. We needed some high energy. That's the thing about the rock music that people wanted to have a discussion. That's what people like. People like the energy and the adrenaline of rock. the simmering nature of that song, I don't know if it fits the scene. It's grimy, it's dark, so that kind of helps the Hell in a Cell. But the rest of the show, I don't know. I like the harder core hip hop probably would have worked for this. Something like a Knuck If You Buck or something like that. But I'm just throwing stuff out there at this point. There's some talk. Maybe this should be a Raw thing, but there's some talk that Alexa Bliss is on her way back into the ring. I don't see that helping matters at all because Triple H I don't think he's ever been a big fan of Alexa Bliss. And I don't think she can really help SmackDown at this point. There's not much you can do. I mean, Mia Yim is winning matches on this show now. That's crazy. It's crazy talk. Why is she winning matches on this show? Why is she even on this show? And Piper Niven, what is she big for? Big for no reason. Anyway, that's SmackDown. I appreciate you. Talk to you guys later.
No one does it better.